You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels normal, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 305. That's right, we're in Pitbull Country, Homestead-Miami Speedway, home to the BFL 350 for everybody here at the HTL Cup Series, powered by Team Conti Sim Performance, the official setup partner of the HTL Series. After a nail-biting performance that saw all-time race winner Caitlin Height put her name in the championship ring, what will the 350 miles here tonight provide? Only time will tell, and from the green flag to the checkered flag and every flag in between, SRM has got you covered from high above the speedway. In the Tony Trapazzo Memorial broadcast booth, I am the dog father, Shane Lake, pushing the ones and twos for me tonight. My all-time producer, my partner in crime who loves doing the time, Mike the Money. And Mike, I'm telling you right now, this Highline is already looking to be quite dangerous early on here this evening.
Yeah, we saw several drivers in practice take it and maybe push it just a little bit too far as they were testing that edge. But qualifying is about wrapped up here. We got about 2 minutes left. Everybody trying to get that overshot pole award. Luckily for whoever gets the pole, they do get that extra $5 in the bank as they get ready to run the race here tonight.
Yeah, and with there not being any stage breaks, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, Lap 35 might be the end of stage 1, but they're running straight through it, and lap 75 will end stage 2. The pit window looks to be either side of 50 laps. So the biggest question is, do you conserve tires and extend fuel, or do you just figure push it while you've got it and, let the chips fall where they may, especially if there's something late?
Yeah, I think tires are going to be the important issue here to see who's going to have that fresh rubber towards the end of the race. And you're right, the timing of it is going to be what matters here as we're looking through a couple drivers out on track. Dustin Hall in that number 1 machine rolling around now.
Yeah, good looking 91 hot rod right there. Looking relatively smooth. Picking up the bottom. I've seen a lot of cars use the high line to get going through their first lap and then basically do like everyone else does, and that's just arc it in deep going into lap 2.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of what they're doing here. I imagine as the race wears on, we're going to see drivers start to push that boundary further and further to that high line as it gets a little loose there, as he comes to the checker to put in his time there. 34:15, good enough for 22nd. Looks like we have quite a few drivers that either didn't want a time or got into that wall. They all had 1 lap to complete for their qualifying, and it looks like only 26 were able to put down a actual qualifying time, and that's going to lead us into the grid here.
40 cars showed up for this race tonight. That's got to be one of the biggest fields we've had here at SRM.
Yeah, it goes pretty good. We have a couple back-to-back nights that we're going to have almost 40-car fields. If you like 40-car action, definitely tune in here, as we have John Hagen on the pole, so he's going to get that extra $5 for that overshot pole award. Under Peach, and then we have Josh Gaiman in third with Seth Wenzing. Caitlin Height, last week's winner, rolling off P5. Matthew Boone going to start outside row 3. Row 4, Jonathan Adams with Patrick Oberstadt. Then you have David Smeal Jr. in 9th with Elias Flores in 10th. Nate Blankenship and Tucker Slayer going to roll off in row number 6. Blake Henderson and Zachary Meredith in row 7. Alfred Denny and Carmen Sienna in row 8. 16th is going to be Eli Sasick. Josh Arnold in 18th. Jeremy Brelut and Kyle Taub is going to round out that top 20.
Yeah, you got David Wright, 21st, Dustin Hall, 22nd. Kevin Gibney Jr. and Richard O. III making up row 12. 13 is going Callie Height and Bailey Thompson. Josh Susi and Mark Kinsenweather will make up row 14. Row 15 will be Stephen Oberstadt and Lily Sharp. Zachary Apperson and Tyler Ratlaff will make up row 16, 17. Row 17 is going to be Shad Swatsworth and Riley Garcia. DeMonte Dotson and our own Angel Santiago. Austin Mongold, Ross Baxter, Kate Sweat, and Ryan Panel will make up the rest of the field here tonight.
Yeah, huge field tonight, as usual, for the drivers of the HTL Cup Series.
They had 39 show up for Daytona. They got 40 showing up here. A stacked field, locked, docked, and ready to rock. And I believe next time by, the pace car's lights will be out.
They get ready to roll here.
It's like a few of them are already trying to do a little bit of fuel saving, or one's dropping to the tail of the field.
I do know a couple drivers got a little bit of trouble last week as they hit that incident limit, so they're going to have EOL, so we're going to see a couple take their place at the back of the field, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, the number 9 of Eli Sasek.
And it also looks like the 33 as well. Or they're just waiting to catch everything up, one of the two. No, it looks like it's the 33 as well. I don't see him up here in the front. As the pace car leads everybody down the back straightaway once again. 50 laps, give or take, for fuel and tires. Means it's a whole big old chess game that's about to go kick itself off. And up front, a couple of Toyotas are hanging around with John Hagan and Hunter Pites sitting on the front row. It's going to be a matter of who ends up getting that launch off once that pace car makes that hard left turn. They're going to be going from daylight to nighttime, which means the stage lights are going to be coming on before this race is over. This ain't Broadway, but we're close enough. We might as well say we're in Miami. Barney's got the green flag in hand. We're racing at Homestead, baby.
Hagan gets out to a lead. Has Hunter Peach right behind him, and you got Caitlin Height making her way into the 3rd spot.
Field definitely spreading out behind these 4.
Yeah, you already see a driver go up almost to the wall there, and that's Matthew Boone. Looks like Kevin Gibney Jr. losing a little bit of ground on that high side, as well as we have a huge battle here in the middle of the track. 3-4 wide trying to come through that front stretch. They spread out heading into turn 1.
Boone and Caitlin are the only ones to have won here previously that are in this race tonight. So it'll be interesting to see what those two have up their sleeves as this race wears on.
Hunter Peach down to the inside, going to get by that 97 on the inside. Boone staying up there riding that wall.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking it's a little too early to get up there as we got a huge crossover coming. Hagan is not ready to let that lead go.
Now it looks like Dustin Hall got a little loose there as they were coming through. Inside, outside, everybody trying to find their way around the track here. Go back up towards the front. And they are still side by side.
Early stages of this race, everyone's just trying to find a place to hide and hopefully avoid things and get through the first round of pit stops and then figure out what they need to do. But seems like it's starting to simmer down a little bit up front here.
Yeah, it looks like everybody up front kind of single filed out, got that running they needed here. It looks like Matthew Boone decided to fall in line as he is now single filed out as well. Towards the back there, looks like Carmen Sienna got pushed to the middle, and Zachary Meredith? No, that is going to be...
No, there's the one behind him.
One behind him,
There's one behind him that I noticed that got really loose. Blue car behind him on the bottom. I can't tell who that number is.
The 74 of Jeremy.
Yes. Yeah, Jeremy Brock was beyond sideways coming off that corner. Coming off a 2 last lap.
You can just see how far they're spread out here. 2-3 wide as they head into the backstretch. Almost 4 wide there. As a 42 takes the high side. The 27 down on the bottom. Bailey Thompson. And try and push through is... That's a 12 machine that was able to get by a little bit there.
Oh, I'm a little bit nervous here, man. Looking 4 wide. You really can't do that here.
Now Oberstadt in the middle here with them as well. Off the bumper goes Bailey Thompson down to the inner track there. Sideways.
Save it. Yes, sir.
Tyler Ratcliffe saved that. Ratliff.
Woo!
sideways through the whole corner. Nobody touches him, and we stay green flag racing here, 7 laps in. Fastest man on the track, though, is going to be the 12 Toyota of Mark Kissenweather with a 33.28.
When you can see the right rear taillight from up here in the booth, you're sideways. And that boy was done cranked sideways, man. That looked like a Bloomquist slide job right there.
Yeah, after watching a lot of the dirt track racing this weekend at the Chili Bowl, I mean, it's amazing to see these guys able to hang on as sideways as they were here.
And speaking of all of that other action, we don't know how many of these guys ran the Rolex 24 this past weekend either. So some of these guys may be coming off of a couple of long stints over the weekend and still had to deal with this here tonight.
Yeah, definitely something to pay attention to a little bit here. I mean, I know we have our own Angel Santiago in the race here tonight.
Yep.
Owns a charter, got to tab the drive at the last minute, so I know he hasn't had too many laps around here, so he's probably hanging out at the back, just trying to learn a little bit more about this car once again. Peach and Hagen, though, still running away.
Yeah, Angel sitting back dead last, just logging laps right now. As the front two have been going at it since the green flag has dropped. And no one has really gotten away from the other one yet, as Hagen looks like he's going to try to make a move on the bottom yet again on Hunter. He's going to have to try to get the stick into 3, but will he actually come out of it? And it looks like he's just going to get that run off the bottom and clear him by a good couple of lengths as they come back to the flag.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he had that run down on the inside, able to clear headed to the flag, but it's got to make you wonder how much of the tires are these guys using running that lower line, and aggressive as they have been up here. I mean, we see some of these other drivers kind of just hanging out, not really pushing their car to the limit here.
Well, that's the thing, is you'll know who's been pushing by when they come into pit road. And for those people that have been literally tossing the car around like there's no tomorrow, they'll be the early ones in. Now that's the first one today. And it involves the 4. Back end of that car don't look too happy.
You can see what happened here.
Oh, it looks like a case of... Ooh, he got a couple of people.
Get a different view here. Go high up in the sky and see what we got.
Yeah, I have to back that up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I can't tell if he got loose off the corner or if he had some help. Because that looks like... All right, let's take a look.
Oh, he had some help.
He had help, but it wasn't all his doing. The 42 kind of got knocked up into him, and then it just turned into, well, how you doing here? We're going to take a few other cars with us.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it looked like he just got loose, but it looks like he had help in that 3 wide situation. It looks like a few people are on pit road trying to play a little strategy game here.
Well, that is going to be kind of the way it works. I mean, when do you want to come in? You want to, because if it's going to be 50 laps, yeah, maybe you come in, get fuel now. I mean, maybe you decided that you used a little too much of your tires early in the run too.
Yeah, true. I mean, track temp's only 88 degrees, air temp's 77. And as this race goes on, the track will get cooler because the sun will be setting. So it'll find itself some more grip by the time this race is over. As it looks like the lights are out on top of pace car, and we're going to have ourselves a restart next time by.
Yeah, 2 by 2 they go.
Now, what's interesting is the fact that these top two guys, Hagan and Pierce, have been all over each other from the drop of the green, but they were still pulling away from the field, just ever so slightly each lap. So it makes me wonder, is everyone else just watching the show? Or are they going to be thinking, hey, more long term, we're going to be in this show once they start using their stuff up?
I don't know. That's hard to say because Hagen is one of the faster drivers here. He had the pole last season as well. He has it this season. I mean, he's pretty quick on the track. Pace car is in, and we get ready to go. 14 laps down as we take 15, and Hagen gets a huge jump on this restart.
Yeah, it looked like Hunter just spun his tires, and he's going to end up letting Caitlin get by him here for second.
Yeah, Caitlin won last week, and she nearly won here last season. Closest finish that we've seen by less than a tenth of a second.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Caitlin is, I think, exploring other options lane-wise right now because the car does not look to her comfortable on the bottom. So I think she's got to be able to, as I say that, she drives it in deep. I guess there's only a miscommunication in 1 and 2. As it looks like we had somebody bobble and end up sliding up to the high line there.
It looks like Boone goes back up to the high line a couple laps in. We saw him do it early in the run last time as well. We'll see if he kind of stays down or if he continues to go up to that high line. Also looks like that 74 is up there. Oh, I would say was up there as he's down on the bottom this time by.
This is what happens when they get a couple of former drivers in the booth. We think we know what's going on, and it turns out everyone else on the track's like, no, we're going to set y'all up and show you exactly what's going on.
Ooh. Carmen Sienna gets shipped down the track. 96 machine.
Looks like got a little bit loose and just stood on the brakes to catch it. As it gets dicey again, and oh!
Josh Arnold goes from the high side clear down to the bottom as he gets loose. In front of 3 drivers there. I mean, wow.
From the penthouse to the basement, just about took someone out and go into the garage.
On board here with the 2 of Josh Arnold inside the 88.
Some really good looking paint jobs out there tonight, I've been noticing.
Yeah, they definitely bring the paint schemes out here.
I wonder how many of these are Henderson graphic jobs. Hey, I know how to plug sponsors, okay?
He's running outside the top 5 right now. Running P6.
It seems like the field is starting to spread out a little bit now. I think they finally
caution is out.
Why did I have to say something?
Like it involves the one machine.
I feel like Dave burns sometimes.
What happened with Jonathan Adams?
Oh, he
Sideways?
gets loose.
Sideways?
And still can't catch it. Still can't catch it. Okay. iRacing decided that was a caution.
Jonathan Adams made it around and went almost went right into into those pit cones down there.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got a set of pissed off tires on there right now, but I don't see this being worthy of a caution, but iRacing be iRacing. As we saw the 4 on pit road getting more damage repaired.
Just looking back through, looks like the 29 is out. Looks like the 96 is also out. I believe that was a car that went flying down pit lane right after that caution there.
Yeah, I saw somebody go completely smoking down pit road with the brakes locked. I think it was the 96.
So our leader is in pit lane. It's like Hagan, Guyman, Santiago, Boone, Henderson, Adams, Slayer, Flores, Denny, Blankenship all in.
Yeah, I think it's the top 12 stayed out and 13th on back's got a fresh set of stickers. Yep, the first one that came in inside the top 10 is Kyle Taub into 16, but he came in lap 12. The first one that just recently came in is 13th with Hagan in the 97. So it's going to be interesting to see how this strategy starts playing out. I mean, we're 23 laps in. You got guys with 11 lap pressure tires, and then you're going to have guys with completely fresh sets of stickers.
Well,
so it'll be interesting to see.
And that's the other thing. Okay, so you're leading on lap 24. You've got 11 laps to that first stage, not stage break, but stage points. So, I mean, you're basically, if you pit from the lead, you're almost giving up, 9, 10 points if you were to win the stage.
Yeah, but considering the top 12 stayed out, there's a few of them on fresher tires, you're going to be able to make that up. Especially if you're somebody like Hagan in the 97, who has got some serious speed in that car tonight. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back inside the top 10 before long.
No, I think he'll get inside the top 10. I mean, he's basically giving up just the 10 points for the win, I believe is what they give here. So you get a couple extra.
Yeah. As the pace car makes the left-hand turn, Barney's got the green flag in hand again, and we are back green. And Hunter has yacked out from everybody.
Yeah, Hunter is driving away here. Caitlin Height up to the high side. Can't quite clear here.
Take it for a minute.
Biggest mover, though, is going to be this number 12 Toyota here. He is just on rails, up 24 spots. Mark Kissingweather is up to P4 after starting 28th, so huge run for him. 2-3 wide. Ryan Pinnell trying to make his way up into the top 10. Currently running P11. Just like you said, Shane, John Hagan up to P8 already, running that bottom. Hagan 3 wide in the middle. Slides down to the bottom once again. As Shad Wadsworth in sight here. Also the 60 of Patrick Oberstadt. They're going to move to the high side, let Hagan have the bottom. It goes to the high side. Kissenweather trying to go to the bottom and get a run here. Going to complete lap 29. Going to be anything after this is going to bring this stage to an end here. Caitlin Height trying to battle with Hunter Peach on the top. Winsing down on the bottom. Height goes to the middle and clear up on the high line goes Kissenweather to try and get some momentum here. Goes down to the bottom and is going to challenge on the bottom for third. Three wide for the lead. Kissenweather, Height, and Peach. Almost 4 wide. Caitlin Height takes the lead. Kissenweather in second. Peach back to third. Height goes down to the bottom of the block. Kissenweather stays up on the high line. Hagan goes down to the bottom as well. Height in front of the 12 of Kissenweather. Drives down to the bottom side. Try and protect that lead here. Coming to 33 laps. Height playing pretty good. Bouncing inside, outside. Playing good defense here.
Doing the one thing you wouldn't expect to see at Homestead, but you would see, as he bounces it off the fence. She was playing the Pied Piper as we just went 4 wide and somehow everyone made it work.
A little mistake, and that's going to allow Hagan to get back to the lead. Hunter Peach back into second. Height, Kissenweather, third and fourth.
It only took Hagan 10 laps to get back up to the front. I'm not surprised.
Almost going to have a 3 wide battle here for second as Kissenweather puts it in the middle. Just can't quite get the runoff to stay there. Side by side with Height.
Yeah, right now, again, the top 2 cars speed-wise, Hagan and Peach, are currently sitting up front, and Peach is the one that's running the top side. Hagan's seeing what his car can do on the bottom. I mean, the bottom has been a little easier on tires, but it's also not as fast. So it's just a matter of, can you get a far enough gap to, protect yourself going into the next corner?
Peach gets a little loose there. And that is going to end stage, but we stay racing here as they do not throw that stage caution. Hagan wins, Peach second, Kissenweather, Height.
Lansing, Taub, Stoutsworth, Paul, and Sneal Jr. end up getting points out of stage one.
What's interesting is, yes, Hagan came down pit lane. He got his 4 fresh tires because he was in there for a little over 14 and a half seconds. But Peach, Kissenweather, and Height are all staying relatively close to him here. It's not like he's driving away from the field at the moment.
No, I think he's managing more than anything else. I mean, he knew he had a strong enough car to get up to the front. Now he's managing the race. And, you know, that's smart to do. You know you got a better car on fresher tires. You know everyone else has to pit behind you. Just manage the race from here.
Yeah, definitely manage the race. The other thing you got to be thinking is Hagan came down when there was a caution. As who is that up into the wall there? Looks like that was Top.
No, it was that Bush. It was that Bush car. I think it was the one. No, it wasn't the one. It was the. Yeah,
the,
it was,
the 24 there. Yeah, Wainsing.
yes,
Got into that outside wall.
Not used to seeing a 24 with Bush on it. Well, last time that actually happened, I drove the car, but that was a long time ago.
Kind of single filed out a little bit here. Going to run a few laps. But what I was saying is Hagan pitted under caution. If the fuel cell, say, lasts 50 laps or thereabouts, and you don't get a caution, some of these drivers are going to have to come down under green, and that is not something they want to have to do.
No, that's a killer here if you got to come in under green, because you end up losing roughly, I want to say about 40 seconds entrance to exit of pit road, and then you got to use the warm-up lane to come back up track. So that's another 10 to 15. So you end up losing close to a minute to make a green flag stop, whereas under caution, obviously, you don't lose anywhere close to it.
Looks like Matthew Boone got a little loose there, went down to the bottom, going to try and get a run here on that 24 machine. 16 of Todd goes up to the high side, going to try and stay with the 24 of Wensing.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised we're not seeing as many cars run the top as what we first projected. I mean, it seems like everyone's more comfortable towards the bottom of the track with this setup.
Well, it is a Team Conti setup, so they
True.
I mean, it might be a little quicker to run that bottom side.
If I know anything about the boys over at Conti, and I know a few of them personally, this setup eats on the bottom.
Getting a little too close there to that wall, almost taking the paint off of that 24 machine.
Well, let's get it right. Let's get it right. It's a vinyl. They don't paint these cars anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of wish they did, though.
It'd be a lot harder to replace some of the damage that happens, though.
Yeah, it would be, but I'm sorry. You can't put a metallic blue paint job on a car with a vinyl. It just doesn't look right. Imagine if they actually did Truex's car the way it was supposed to be at Phoenix, that metallic maroon. Oh, that would have been gorgeous for his final ride.
Kissenweather trying to stay on that high side as Height goes down to the bottom. They can't seem to get away from each other either at the moment. You have Hagan and Peach, Height, Kissenweather, the top four. Go back and see if we can see some action mid-pack here. They're almost 3 wide.
Oh, they are 3 wide. At least they were for a moment coming off of 3 and 4.
Slayer was trying to get in there, push it a little bit wide to make that pass, and winds up fading back a little bit there. Three wide.
Oh, this is going to get dicey as we got a few cars peeling off for pit stops already.
It looks like the 95 there got a little bit loose. 62 of David Smil trying to hang on here.
Yeah, right now the mid-pack is definitely where the action is going to be, because it looks like the front 10 or 12 have basically kind of spread themselves out, and they're just logging laps right now.
Well, it tends to be the way that it works. You know, you kind of get the amped up energy in the first 10 or so laps, and then after a little bit, you're like, all right, let's just get closer to halfway, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the track is starting to evolve a little bit. The sun's starting to go down. The shadows are getting a little bit longer. Looks like we had somebody get loose off of 4 again.
Well, it looks like it was
And
Dotson or Flores.
Yeah, it was, I think it was the WeatherTech car. I know that much. I saw the big W on the hood. So that's the big thing is, you know, once this track starts getting in the shadows, again, grip level will go up, and we'll end up, you know, seeing more exploration to try to save tires.
And you're seeing drivers tend to explore a little bit more on the track here as well, to see more going to that high line, 2 or 3 lanes up anyway, just seeing if they can find some speed, maybe save a little tire, and maybe get a little more speed in that ride.
And that's going to be the big thing tonight is, you know, who's going to be able to manage their stuff late, because again, we've got more cars coming off that didn't stay, you know, that stayed out underneath the cautions and are now going to end up cycling in towards the back, because now the rest of the field is coming.
Yeah, it looks like we had the 12 of Kissenweather coming in from towards the front. Looks like we're going to have the 3. It looks like me. Nope. Staying out.
No.
I thought maybe going down to the bottom. Caitlin was going to make her way down into pit lane. The one of Dustin Hall is not getting off of that rear bumper, though.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of a problem, especially if Caitlin has to check up. I think right there she's making her intentions known. So I think that's why the 1 is giving it a little bit more room, because I believe Caitlin is coming in this time by. And she is.
So that leaves just a few who have not hit pit lane. Hunter Peachback in second is losing time, but not a lot. Not as much as I was going to expect here from Hagan. I mean, 33.86 to a 33.97 is all that he's really losing, and he has not came down pit lane yet. We're working lap 52 here.
Yeah, probably saved a little bit of fuel and a little bit of tire underneath those cautions, and now looks like he's going to try to extend this window to maybe go to lap 55, so that way this is legitimately a 2-stop race for him.
Yeah, I mean, if he can make it to that, I mean, almost any time now, he could make it basically a 2-stop race.
Yeah,
and still feel relatively comfortable. Yeah, he's coming down pit lane now.
Well, just a couple of laps sooner than what I was thinking he was going to. But, you know, again, this will let him extend it out a little bit more. Say he comes in lap 106, 107. That'll leave him under 40 for the final run.
So the first car who has not come down pit lane is going to be the 17 here of Zachary Meredith. And the 31 of Kevin Gibney Jr. here. As he's making his way down. Both of them come down this time by.
I was about to say, I was looking at that 17 a second. Is that Thomas the Tank on the 17?
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Wonder if Henderson Graphics did that one.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you know.
You know.
Dustin Hall in second. All of these drivers now pitted on lap 22, so they're going to have to come in 15 or so laps.
Yeah, give or take.
Especially as these guys have not had the benefit of the couple cautions that the previous drivers had.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now down the list of who's come in when. In sixth place, Shad Swatsworth. He's looking like he's going to have to come in before the rest of them because he came in lap 12. So he's only looking like he's got another, do the math in my head, probably about another 5-6 laps of fuel left in that car.
And as you say it, he's going to come down pit lane.
Well, I wonder how many of these drivers have the broadcast up and are listening to us now.
You never know.
True. Second screen, perhaps. Talk about a hornet's nest back here.
These guys are all over each other.
You know, you can start to see 1 and 2 get a little bit shaded along with the front straightaway. This race will more than likely conclude under the lights, so this is going to be interesting to see how people adapt to the transition this track goes through as well, as it looks like more towards 3 and 4 is also getting shaded. So the track is slowly going to be picking up speed.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be how the drivers adjust to the way the track changes. You see 4 of them go up towards the wall, going to try and ride that line there.
Yeah, there's the outside groove, which is the Harry Gant groove, and then there's a Kyle Larson, I'm knocking the wall down with the right rear and still powering past you.
Well, he tried that at the Chili Bowl and still won.
Didn't he wreck twice that race?
Yeah, he drove over a guy and then he bounced it off the outside wall with the banner and flipped around and still was able to keep going and kept the lead as they're sideways.
Oh, this isn't going to end well for somebody.
Inside, outside, Alfred Denny getting stuck kind of in the middle there. The 19 of Lily Sharp got out of shape there.
Not only
Loose
her,
again.
but the 21. Not only her, but the 21 I noticed in that whole ordeal was sideways too. So the action hasn't really backed off like we thought it would back here. As there's Lily up into the fence again.
Tucker Slayer goes down to the bottom, going to try and take advantage while those two are up on the high line. Alfred Denny staying up there. Side by side they go. Looking back through the field here. After pit stops, drivers who pitted from the front, Kissenweather's running 24th, Hunter Peach 25th, Caitlin Height in 26th. Sideways goes the 95 Toyota.
Oh, what a save, though.
Not on the wall. Kept it going off the track, but that is not something he wanted to have happen here.
Nope. And we stayed green, no less.
Well, we said it was a hornet's nest back there, and that's exactly what it was.
Yep.
And here they are still battling. Denny, Height, Adams, Thompson there as well.
Yeah, now we see
Alfred Denny coming in.
Yeah, we see a few other cars who are on that lap 12 strategy come in. Now we're starting to see the chess game play out a little bit.
Bailey Thompson just almost having to double check and see what Lily Sharp does, as Lily puts it right into the wall almost.
One of these times, that 19 is going to end up in the fence and completely knock the whole right side off. I mean, she's given it a couple of solid thumps already. It's just a matter of time before one more thump ends up doing a lot more damage.
Yeah, it seems like 1 and 2. Yep. She gets right there.
We got someone new flying the drone. That was actually a good shot.
Hagen coming in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Dustin Hall coming in.
Hagen could have gone about another 10 laps or so. That's crazy. He's going to turn this into a 3-stop race.
Yeah, that's definitely going to make it a little bit interesting depending on what everybody does.
I mean, there's no way he can go to the finish from here. So it has to be a 3rd stop. It's just a matter of when. I mean, it's what? Roughly 80 to go when he made the stop. He's splitting the final 80 laps in half.
I mean, he saw how fast he could work through the field, so I don't know that he thinks it's going to be a big issue. The other thing is he might be banking on a late race caution too, and come in and get the last set of tires and be good for the end of the race.
Oh, it could be that too. I mean, from what it's looking like right now, and I don't see a caution coming out anytime soon, something tells me that he's splitting this last bit of the race in half, which, you know, doesn't surprise me, because that's about the limit of what these tires are good for before they really start falling off the cliff. So I could see this going a 40-40 segment. As we got Josh Susie up there in the 81 car leading this deal. And I swear I saw something on the back bumper at 81 that just about made me break out in line. I swear I thought I saw "Here Kitty Kitty" on the back bumper of that car.
Very well could have.
And the boy thinks it's Tony Stewart.
So we got the 60 machine in between lap car there.
Yeah.
All these drivers up front, last pit on lap 22, so they have to be thinking about coming in any moment here.
That they do.
Ross Baxter coming in.
I think some of them are getting ready to do it now.
Four laps to go in the stage here. Boone is in second, has a lap car between himself and the leader. Jonathan Adams down pit lane in the 91 Toyota. And even after making his pit stop, Hagan came out in P13 right behind Peach, Height, and Kissingweather. He is loose. Flores right, Oberstadt, Santiago all coming in. Will the 81 have enough fuel to make it to that lap 75 stage break and get those stage points? Boone. Looks like Callie Height coming in. But will the 81 Chevy, Josh Sauce, make his way down pit lane, or is he going to be able to close it out here? Final time before the stage caution. Looks like he is, let's say, almost slowing down a little bit. Looks like he is shutting it off, trying to cruise here, trying to hope. Oh, he had to come down pit lane. See if he gets to the start-finish line first. Matthew Boone's going to have to come down as well. It's going to be a race to see if they get past that start-finish line. Here comes Mark. I'm going to say they probably didn't get by pit lane. It'd be close.
Well, that's what happens when you have to extend a pit window as far as possible.
I have to wait till the official results come out, but it looked like they might have been able to hang on there. It's going to be close.
Yeah.
And Hagan goes back to the lead.
Yeah, and right now he's just laying lap times down that are just, you know, beyond out there. 33.46 last time by compared to mid to high 33s, low 34s. He's got that thing dialed up tonight.
Yeah, I mean, even he's running a 33.42. Blake Henderson, who pitted on the same lap, is running a 33.83. So 0.4 of a second is what he's losing to the leader here, and that's all we have here.
That is absolutely insane to see a performance like this.
But with that, it looks like they're single filed out. We're going to step aside for a moment here. You won't miss anything as we go side by side and hear from our race sponsor. welcome back, everybody. You didn't miss anything as we were away. Josh Hagen's still leading the race with Piston Weather behind him. About 3 seconds. Second and a half back to Hunter Peach with Caitlin Height right to his inside there.
Yeah, looks like Caitlin's trying to deal with a little bit of lap traffic here.
Well, that's the other thing that tends to happen here, especially when you get those green flag runs, is you have that lap traffic get mixed in. And the lap traffic tries to maintain their line, but a lot of the times, the lap traffic, you just have to, you catch them in the wrong spot and it slows down everything. Your momentum goes away, your line changes. So that could play a factor here as we're rolling through.
It's a lot like what you see with a green flag run on a short track like North Wilkesboro or Richmond. It just ends up being no place for anybody to hide or get out of the way because that's where the grooves are. So, I mean, take your pick on which way you want to go, and hopefully you're just not holding anybody up.
Yeah, exactly. Move back here towards the back of the field where some of the action is. You have Bailey Thompson, Kevin Gibney Jr. getting shoved along there. Thompson goes down to the inside and try and get a run on Gibney.
Looks like he's going to make the move stick in that WeatherTech 27.
A little bit further here as we have battle. 4 cars on the track.
I was about to say, speaking of WeatherTech, how cool is it seeing both Van Gisbergen and McLaughlin in a Corvette for the Rolex 24 this year?
That's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Right now we got dueling lines as it seems like the outside is trying to prevail out there, but it seems like everyone's starting to get back into single file again. I think there's definitely one more stop coming in the next 25 laps, give or take. So I think we're going to see a little bit more riding before people start taking the gloves off.
Well, especially now that there's not a stage break that you need to worry about or anything of that nature, you can kind of just play it to the end of the race.
Yeah, and I'm all for stuff like this. I mean, don't interrupt the flow of a race for a stage caution. I mean, if NASCAR wanted to take notes on how to fix the division, here's where you start.
Yeah, because you basically throw the strategy game right out of the window as soon as you have that stage caution, because it's basically race to the stage break, get fuel and tires, race to the next one, fuel and tires, and then figure out kind of the end of the race. But it's not as big a strategy play as you can have here. No,
it's not. And that's the unfortunate thing is it used to be a strategy game for 500 miles. Now it's, if you're lucky, it's a strategy game for, 120, 130 laps, give or take?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the old man get off my lawn in me moment.
I mean, especially with these new cars anyway, that's kind of the way it pans out, especially with how hard it is to pass on some of these tracks. Like 17 got a little loose there.
And I mean, again, NASCAR has so many easy ways to fix this. One of those being give them some more horsepower, take a little bit of rear spoiler out of the car, and make them actually drive the doggone thing. But if I wanted to go any further into that, I'd have to listen to Benny's podcast, and I really don't want to do that right now.
24 of Winsong and Josh Arnold in the 2, kind of battling inside-outside. A little bit different lines.
Looks like the 2 took the air off the back bumper of that 24 and is going to make this pass stick. And now the 24 is going to chase him back down. they're really not off the throttle long in these cars. And that's what makes it so hard to pass with, is you really need to set the run up to get by somebody, because you're basically off the throttle about as long as they are.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. I mean, other than completely different lines, if they're running relatively the same line, I mean, top and bottom here, you can get a lot of momentum and carry it through if you have, the right setup and everything. But on some of these tracks, you just can't do it unless you get that draft and pull out at just the right time to make that pass.
Exactly. The only other way to end up getting by somebody, unfortunately, is putting a bumper to them and getting them loose. And, you do that, you can only get away with that so often before it starts to come back to bite you. So, that's just the nature of these cars.
Yeah, it definitely is here, as it looks like Smeel going to go down to the bottom side, try and get a run on the 33. Just can't quite get there. He's been trying it a couple times. Starts to close in and then just loses it just a bit, as the 33 has a little bit better drive off of the corner.
Yeah, I mean, that drive off is everything. If you can protect your line and slide up in front of somebody, you're looking pretty handsome here doing it. And you're going to be able to make a whole lot of headway later on.
Checking back through the field, seeing what action is going on here. Everybody's pretty much single filed out, trying to ride around. Pit stops should be coming any moment.
Yep.
We have some drivers that pitted on lap 49 or thereabouts, so they should be making their way down pit lane anytime. A couple of others can make it a little bit further. And it's going to be interesting to see what Hagan and Hall do as they came down on lap 65. We also have a couple of drivers that made it all the way to that stage break, so we'll see what they do as well here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be the telltale pit stop cycle, so be interesting to see who makes what move.
Eli goes to the bottom. We'll get by Seth. Have cars exiting pit lane here.
It looks like the 12 ends up coming down pit road, it looks like, as well.
12 Kissing Weather made his way down. Going to try and do a little bit different pit strategy maybe. Try and use everything he can, because he knows Hagen's going to have to come down, and you can't do the same thing as Hagen or you're not going to beat him here. So got to try something a little bit different, and he'll see what he can do once it shakes out.
Yeah, and right now, to think that there is a 8.2 second gap between first and second, that is insane.
The biggest margin of victory here was back in season 1, and it was just under 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to eclipse that tonight.
It'll all come down to how this pit cycle goes out.
Yeah, and I think it's going to start functioning now. I think I just saw the 3 come on pit road.
Yep, Caitlin Height down pit lane. 24 came down as well. Lap traffic is now in front of the 97, so might be able to slow them down just a little bit here. A little bit back here. 19 of Sharp, the 17 of Meredith. Like a 16 graded that wall quite a bit here. Sitting just outside that top 10. Looks like this and Weather came out 23rd. Height 25th. Dustin Hall trying everything he can to stay with Hagen. Hunter Peach should be coming down pretty soon. He just ran 50 laps, so I'd imagine he's going to hit pit lane any moment, probably this lap, it looks like. He's coming down. Henderson still out. Currently running P3. Who else is battling on track? Looks like Bailey Thompson. Going to be down on the inside of Todd. Just heard the call on the radio for Hagen to come in, so that's gonna
put him right in that 40-lap window. And there he is now. As the lights have fully enveloped Homestead-Miami Speedway, the speed is about to get turned way up.
Hagen in, Hall in, Henderson in, Izak in. Boone staying out. Like the drivers that pitted on lap 75 are both 1-2 at the moment. Have to wait to see where Hagen cycles out. Looks like Hagen is back on track. He's running P9 right now, coming on pit exit. Looks like he just barely stays inside that blue line. He's going to get back on track just in front of Callie Height, Mark Kissenweather, and Caitlin Height.
Yeah, which means once this cycles out, de facto lead will go back to Hagen.
He built up a heck of a lead there on those last few laps before he came down pit lane. He is only 3.5 seconds in front of Kissenweather, though.
Well, Kissenweather was able to take a lot out of that lead, when he was able to get his tires. So now it's going to be a matter on if Hagen can pick up those 3.5 seconds again.
He has to deal with a few cars in and out here. Everybody in front of him should have to pit in probably about 15 or so laps. And Kissenweather's losing a lot of time here right now.
Yeah. It just seems like he's struggling with the balance of that car now. I mean, once the lights came on, it just seems like something went away in that car.
And it looks like now that Hagen's going to have a few car lengths of basically open air here, as he's got about 6.5 seconds to the driver in third. So see what he can do here as he's able to get by. Go back and look at Kissenweather here as he's coming into turn number 1. Closing the gap on the 27.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like he's closing it by much.
Looks like Caitlin lost a little bit of time there as well. Fastest driver on the track is going to be Hunter Peach back here with the 33.16 last time by.
Yeah, that car has got something tuned in it now, but the problem is, I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get up there. I think he's going to need a caution to reset this field to have a chance to win this race.
Yeah, he's got a little over 9 seconds to Hagen.
Yeah, and that window is expanding. It is slowly expanding as it looks like the 81 is pretty well checked out right now.
Blankenship back here closing in on the 24 as they're side by side. The 78 of Richard Odie goes up to the high side, gonna let the 24 go by.
Meanwhile, as we check in further up front, the 12 is still trying to nip away a little bit more at the lead and is not having a whole lot of success doing it.
No, and that's the problem. You get in this lap traffic and you basically can't go anywhere.
Dirty air, and that's the bad feature about these cars is how much dirty air they actually produce. I mean, again, if you take, God, I'm going to sound like Denny Hamlin. You take a little bit of rear spoiler out, you put a little bit of horsepower in, you take the diffuser out, you're going to have a much better driving car. Because the drivers are going to have to drive it.
Exactly. 3 goes by at the 99. 99's coming in. Last bit on lap 71, so.
Yeah, I think he's due.
Pretty wide with some lap cars. Not
One thing
necessarily you want to deal with here is a lap traffic.
Especially this late in the race. That's the last thing you want to deal with.
Looks like Matthew Boone in, the 74 of Jeremy Brett in as well. Kissenweather still trying to close in. Was able to work by some of the lap traffic now. But that gap to Hagen is almost 6 seconds. But the gap to the race lead is 22. So
Yeah, but the thing about it is there's still a few cars that need to come down.
the 81 is one of them.
Yeah, the 81 is one of
Saucy
them.
has to come down.
And the 8 of Oberstadt needs to come in as well.
Yeah,
Everyone else has basically made their bet.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of being able to, time things out now, as the 97 is still putting a huge dent in this lead. The only thing that I can imagine Josh in the 81 is waiting for right now is a caution, because he's got to come down pit road in the next 10 laps easily.
Well, right now, I mean, he's going to have to come down. Yeah, inside 10 laps, definitely. He's got he's got, what, 10 cars on the lead lap right now, the way he's running? So, I mean, if he gets that caution, you're looking at 11 cars-ish, plus all the waiver rounds. So, I mean, you start in front of the waiver rounds after that. So, it'll still be a pretty decent starting spot for him to come down pit lane, get the fuel and tires, and he'll be good to go to the end of the race and have the freshest set on that car.
Yeah, but the problem is 9 out of 10 times this strategy doesn't work.
Oh.
And I don't think it's going to work now.
I don't disagree. I just said that's the only way it's going to work.
Yeah, well, I hate to say it. It ain't gonna. I've watched enough NASCAR in my life to know that strategy never works. It looks like the 97's just content to ride up on the top lane and just, make moves to pick people off. We venture back a little bit to check in on the 12. Here's some weather, and it seems like the gap between him and Hagen is stabilized at right around 6 seconds.
Yeah, just a little bit under, and then it goes up a little bit more. He gets a little helping hand there from the 27 right to the rear bumper.
I don't know if that was a helping hand or the 27 had a run and just pulled out late, because it shot the 12 dead right.
Now with 24 laps to go, looking at the strategy calls here by the drivers, Hagen has come down. He's made all 3 of his pit stops. So if he took tires each time, I believe he's out, if I'm not mistaken. But then you have Kissenweather, who's only made 2, Height made 2, Hunter Peach made 2. So they have an extra set sitting in pit lane. So we'll see what happens here in these final 23 laps. It's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, right now, looking through all of that, Oberstadt 8 is looking the strongest, because he's only made 1 stop from what it looks like. Now comes stop number 2. So he'll have an extra set in as the 88 of Haley Height comes in as well. And now we've only got 8 of them on the lead lap.
And I believe we only have a couple laps left of fuel in that 81 machine, so.
Yeah, he's got to be getting close to empty on that tank.
Let's see. No, he's coming down pit lane.
Yeah, I think he was getting ready to notice the warning light coming on. Now the question is, how far back is he going to cycle?
I imagine he comes out just outside the top 10, probably.
Oh. Let's take a look. He's getting ready to move now. He's going to be, I think, somewhere more inside of it. Probably right around 9th or 10th, actually. Well, yeah, right around 9th.
Joins back on track. P10.
Yeah.
P11 now as Classic gets by.
Yeah, just got to let the tires get up, and then he'll be fine, as we've got just under 20 laps to go.
And that gap between Hagen and Kissenweather has increased now to 7.5.
Well, now Hagen's got pretty much clean air in front of him, so I got a feeling that there's about to be somebody checking out.
Yeah, you can see that there is nobody between himself and Hagen here now. And he's got some help there.
Is it my imagination or did I hear that car shift?
Oh, yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, it did. I think the gloves are officially off, and they know how good they are with fuel. It's time to let the dog eat.
Yeah, especially with that 27 all over the rear bumper there. Trying to push him to close the gap. 26 rolling off pit lane.
Yeah, the only problem is it doesn't matter how much you're pushing. That 97 is just in a league of his own right now. The only thing that's helping right now is the 12 stay ahead of Caitlin in the 3 by about a second. That's all it's doing.
Yeah. '81 making some moves, getting inside that top 10, up 17 spots.
I think that's going to be a net gain overall for that 81 car because we haven't really spoken much about him all race long. But, you know, to be inside the top 10 after that strategy call, I know they were probably thinking a caution was going to come out and they'd be able to trap a whole crap ton of people. But, you know, inside the top 10 this late, not a bad move.
Yeah, and it depends on how it all shook out on that stage number 2 stage break there. If he was able to get by the start-finish line before the leaders came back around, as he pitted from the lead. So if he got those points, he's going to be, I mean, it's really a big net gain. I mean, up 18 spots running inside the top 10, and you get the bonus points for the stage.
Yeah, that's going to be a real helpful in the title run. As the gap to Kissenweather in the 12 has extended itself to 9.25 seconds. And this is a position I would not want to be in if I was a 12 or the 3. Lap cars all around. I mean, I know Caitlin's got to deal with Hunter as well, but the last thing you'd want to have this late is this hornet's nest of cars around you.
Yeah, that's the worst part. I mean, you have what? Kissenweather, Peach, Height, all there as Peach goes by. And Dustin Hall's not too far behind either. And then you have a couple lap cars kind of mixed in front of them. So not necessarily something you want to deal with. But it is helping. No. It is helping the 12 of Kissenweather here stay up towards the front.
Yeah, I mean, he's able to use the draft and try to close up at least a little bit here and there. But the problem is it's just too big of a sacrifice right now because that lap alone, he lost half a second. So this is really no help to him right now.
No, and the other thing, the car behind him, Hunter Peach, is gaining 0.2 a lap as he's just moved right behind the 12 there. So he's going to be battling here for second place, and that is going to just allow John Hagan to continue to drive away. 12 laps to go here as they're rolling through.
Hunter's got 6 lap fresher tires. I mean, it may not sound like much, but it's massive here at Homestead. That's why he's able to run about a groove up off the bottom and just kind of let the car come up and just go its natural course instead of fight with it.
Yeah. Stays right on the rear bumper there of Kissenweather. And Heights lost some positions here as she is now running P5. Dustin Hall able to get by.
I mean, still a top 5 day for the Daytona 500 winner. I mean, it's still a decent points day at the end of it all. And that's what's important, is to start coming out of these races. You know, once the season officially starts getting going, you know, get your top 5, get your bonus points for stages and all that. That's how championships are won.
Yeah. I've seen several leagues where the driver who's battling for the championship hasn't really won a race, or maybe has won just one race. And as long as they're consistent, they're in that championship battle, and that's all you have to be most of the time.
Matt Kenseth's philosophy right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, Joey Logano,
What?
Anyway.
Ryan Newman 2014, what?
Oh, now Hunter Peach. Caution's out.
Oh, this is going to shake things up.
See what happened here real quick. Oh, just got loose as they were 3 wide. So let's go back here and take a look at what caused the caution. Oh, 88 went up into the 9, and that's going to bring out the caution. And looks like everybody's going to come down pit lane. Looks like the 9 has stayed out so far. Hagen down and away. Hall, Peach. Height. No, it looks like we'll probably take the green with about 5 to go. He'll come down pit lane, so going to give it to the leaders. Hagen, Hall, Peach, Height, Kissenleather.
Well, looks like this is going to shake everything up to give us a nice little 5-lap dash now, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that we're going to get the eclipse the record for distance of victory, but going to be an interesting shootout here as that pace car is going to make that left-hand turn. Hagen with the button as they get ready to head to that Geico restart zone. 5 laps to go. Green flag is out. Hagen with a big run on into turn number 1.
He's been the restart master. Every time we've seen him out front, he's been able to jump, but that inside line has been able to do that all race long here. just so happens that Hagen's been the one doing it most of the time.
Ooh.
Oh, Caitlin just destroyed the right side of that car. Oh, she's going to get nerfed.
Blake
Hold
Henderson.
it, hold it, hold it. Oh.
Blake Henderson gave a huge shove there as Caitlin lost it. Caution is out.
Caitlin parked it up against the wall. That car may not be able to be driven back. And that was a shot. Brett Bodine, the pace car driver, driving through everybody like always. Nothing's changed there.
Sideways, sliding through, saves it up into the wall.
And I think that
Let's go back
impact
a
broke
little further
something on the
than that.
right. I think that impact broke something on the right front.
Go back a little further than that.
Yeah, she got loose off the wall after smacking it in turn one.
Yeah, there you go. Into the wall. 81
Gets
tries to stay
rear-ended.
off.
Rear ends the 3, which checks up the 81 and everyone behind them. But then you've got the 26 here that just ends up, the 25 that just flings it down in there. I don't know if they knew that Caitlin was going to come down or what was going on, but Caitlin gets absolutely turned. Now, any other time, this would be a great save, but then comes the problem of the car jumping back up the banking, and, well, when that happens, you lose all steering.
Yeah.
And into the fence it goes.
Yeah, just trying to avoid everybody, and that's what's going to bring out the caution, is because she's just stopped up there.
Yeah, because I think that car is toast. And now what this does is give us the interesting moment to talk about overtime. Because we got 3 attempts at it around here. And of course, overtime brought to you by Henderson Graphics. So basically what happens is we stack up the field, we throw the green. If the leader comes back and sees the white flag, next flag ends the race no matter what. Meanwhile, if there's a caution that comes out prior to the white flag, we re-rack, we restack, and we do it again. And there's 3 attempts at this. And this is liable, and I believe, if I'm looking at the math correctly, this is attempt number 1.
It should be, yep.
Because technically we'd be getting the green flag with what would have been... Wait a minute. Yeah, I think this is going to work out to be a green-white checker, I believe. My brain don't want to math after getting hot sauce earlier.
Well, they will stack them up here. See if Hagen can get that jump he got the last couple times here.
I got a feeling he will, but will Hunter in the 20 be able to get that jump with him? That let the pace car make the hard left-hand turn. The Geico restart zone awaits. Green flag is back up in the air, and the 20 gets a bit of a better jump this time. He doesn't let the 97 get too far away, but yet again, the 97 is getting away.
Now the one drifts up the track right in front of Kissenweather. Kissenweather tried to go to the middle to maintain his line, but couldn't keep it, so he slides down behind Peach. Hall up to second.
As everyone is getting ready to chase down John Hagen in the 97, the pole sitter's where he's been pretty much all race long. Coming out of 3 and 4, Barney puts down the green, picks up the white. The Henderson Graphics white flag in the air. We're coming to checkers.
There is moving all over the track. 3 wide back here, just inside the top 10. Dustin Hall trying to do everything he can to get to Hagen. 3 wide behind him. Henderson.
Oh, We got someone spinning the back, but that's not going to be too consequential.
62.
Through 3 and 4, one more time. Oh, the boy's been dominant all race long. He's going to put his stamp going into the playoffs. John Hagan wins at Homestead.
Oh, Hagan, Hall, Kissenweather, Henderson, and Peach round out that top 5.
Yeah, we end up going one lap past the advertised distance. Good action. As everybody comes up and puts a little bit of a congratulatory rub on the side of that 97, Hagan drove a very strategic race here tonight, and it flat out showed. From pole to checker, that doggone car was evil all race long. And he gets to burn it down in front of the fans here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Let's see if we can get our third place finisher up here in the booth. All right. Shane, I believe you're going to have Mark with you.
Hey, Mark, it's Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, talk to us about that little excitement, because for a while it looked like you were able to try to close in on that 97, and then it just seemed like the tires fell off of it on you.
Yeah, I was pushing really hard just to keep my track position. I should have pit when he pit. That gave him such an advantage with just having track position as the run went on.
Yeah, definitely. It just seemed like that 97 was hooked up pretty much from the get-go. You were looking really strong, though, as well, but just seemed like strategy just played out differently for you.
Yeah, that's usually what happens to me. I always get messed up by my strategy decisions, and it costs me.
Hey, man, fellow driver, I know exactly how that goes. I can't tell you how many times I've shot myself in the foot, so I get it, trust me. But, hey, before we let you celebrate this P3 finish, man, who do you got to thank that helps you get it done on that 12 car here tonight?
NJB Designs, Coulter Cards, Go Time Cards, Militia Racing Club. That's really it.
All right, man, we'll celebrate that P3 finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Dustin, Mike up in the booth, man. How's it going?
Hey, Mike. Going good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Well, that was a heck of a run there. Up 20 spots. Kind of walk us through your race and what the strategy was to get up inside that into the podium here.
Well, basically just stand on the gas. As simple as that sounds, it was a very, very tricky track. Setup was really good. First time I've raced here in this league where it just didn't get plowing tight. So you could really actually drive the thing. So great job to Team Conti Sim Performance on the setup tonight. Fantastic job. It was kind of strategy was kind of dictated by the cautions. I thought so. I was really surprised when a lot of people stayed out when we went yellow, lap 22, I think it was. I was really surprised that people stayed out with 5 sets in the pits. It does typically spread out here, and traditionally you get good long runs. So just try to take advantage of that. Once we went green after that caution at 22, it was basically just split the race into thirds and uh, go that way. That's about it. Just stand on the gas, pass cars.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your P2 finish. Anybody you got to thank before we get you out of here tonight?
Of course, I got to thank Team Conti Sim Performance. BFL was on the car today. Blankenship Freight Lines. Thank you for picking up the tab for the car this week. Henderson Graphics for the paints. You guys in the booth for broadcasting it. HTL for giving us something to spend and spend our Monday nights. Just having some fun with some good friends.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep. Talk to you then.
All right. Get our race winner to you, Vane.
Hey, John, it's Shane up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. Hello, Shane.
Man, there's being on a different page, there's being in a different book, and then there's tonight when you were in a completely different Encyclopedia Britannica. Talk about that run tonight you had, man.
I don't know. It's just consistency and not making mistakes. I've ran a handful of races here in this car, and the set only seemed to fit more to my driving style, and it was honestly just a perfect combo here tonight. I think it really built that way because lap 21, something like that. I pit and top like 12 stayed out, and that created a gap, and others on fresh tires couldn't get through, and I did, and I just ran, and it went green from there. So always having the tire advantage helped a ton, and I mean just hitting your marks over and over because I mean even the people in the same tire strat as me were caught up in the mess, and I never got caught up, and I won't lie. I freaked out with the 6 to go, and I had that gap, and the caution came out, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, you had, from what we were looking at, like a 9-second gap at one point, and then that all went down. So, yeah, I can imagine you were spooking a little bit in the car, but as you said, you had the tire advantage, and you were definitely the quickest one over and over. So, I'm not surprised. We were talking about you a lot pretty much this entire race, and here you are sitting in victory lane.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. This is where I give shout outs to people.
I was about to say, before we let you celebrate this and enjoy a good time here at Homestead, who you got to thank that helps you get it done at 97 here tonight?
I'm gonna shout out Ascent Racing first. Check them out on Twitter. We have openings on the team for different aspects of racing. x.com/Ascent Racing _. You'll find them on there. They're a great group of guys. Shout out HTL for putting on this series. Shout out Eli again for letting me in the car. Shout out Team Conti for building a wonderful set. Shout out you guys at SRM putting on the broadcast. That was freaking awesome. And we'll go get it next week.
Hey, enjoy watching that one back. I think I gave a little bit of a jolt in that finish for you. So enjoy watching it back, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Go ahead and bring up the race results here. We got John Hagan, Dustin Hall, Mark Kissenweather. The top three, Blake Henderson barely missing out on a podium finishes, come home P4, Hunter Peach in fifth, Josh Arnold, Jonathan Adams, Zachary Meredith. Josh Saucy tries to extend that run, just can't quite get it done. Seth Wainsing in P10, Tucker Saylor in 11th. 12th is Lily Sharp, Stephen Oberstadt, and Patrick Oberstadt. 13th, 14th, David Smill. In 15th, Kyle Taub, Josh Gaiman, Kevin Gibney Jr., Matthew Boone, Alfred Denny round out that top 20.
Yeah, 21st, Elias Flores, Bailey Thompson, Shad Swatsworth, Ryan Pano, our own Angel Santiago, who came up 11 positions by the time this was over. Ross Baxter, Richard O. the third, Eli Sazek, Kate Sweet, and unfortunately, after that late contact, Caitlin Height ended up in 30th, with Nate Blankenship, David Wright, Riley Garcia, Tyler Ratliff, Kaylee Height, Jeremy Brault. Yeah, my tongue's a little bit fried after all this tonight. DeMonte Dotson, Zachary Pearson, Carmen Sienna, and Austin Mongold end up rounding out your field here this evening.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to as the drivers put this one in the rearview mirror and get ready to set sail next week. Where are we next?
I believe, if my schedule is correct,
We are at Kentucky.
Ooh. So we go from the Cuban sandwiches to Kentucky barbecue. Oof.
Yeah,
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, you get Kentucky, Chicagoland, and then race 5, Road America. So several different tracks coming up here in the HTL Cup Series. But with that, I'm going to let you wrap it up here, Shane, and we'll get out of here.
For everybody who has joined us, whether it's been on YouTube or anywhere else you have found us, whether it's been on your phones, your big screen TVs, or your computers, we thank you all for joining us in the HTL series for this exciting race here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And as the late Tony would always say, today, tomorrow, and every day, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. And until we meet again next week at Kentucky, everybody, take care.